Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree. Oh, hello. I thought I'd make a video of battling the chess.com, the Anna Cramling rated 2100, and I'll show some ideas that I have. I've beaten this bot before. I will tell you, it takes me 2 hours to play this game. If I put 30 minutes on the clock, I cannot beat this bot. So I want to encourage people, if you're wanting to strengthen up your game, play one of these bots and don't give yourself a time limit. That's the key to improvements. And if you hang with me to the end, I'm going to show you something. I wasn't originally going to make this a video, but something happened toward the end. I don't know if a human player would let me get away with it or not, but we'll be checking that out. And I want to say what inspired me to play this bot is the other day on December 30th, 2022, I watched the Swiss championships, and Anna was playing, and one of the most emotional, crazy games I've ever seen in my life. And she posted a video on it today, and I will post a link in the description so you can watch the game for yourself. But it was insane. She had seconds left, and she was at a completely losing position. And with the 30-second increments, she just turned it around and just played like a true champion. Her mom was narrating, yelling at the screen, jumping up and down. It was crazy. But anyway, they both played well, but Anna just really just turned it around and just played like a true champion. Couldn't believe it. So before I get started, yes, I do realize the real Anna Cramling would mop the floor with me, but the bots, like I said, I played this game over a 2-hour period, and I'm just going to get to it here, and let's go through this, and I'll show you. We'll get to the end thing. So in the center, I'm just trying to control the center here, and I love doing this variation opening. And I tell you why, because when I'm battling the 2100, I know I'm not going to do some kind of 15-move thing where I trick this Cramling bot. That's not going to happen. So I look for little advantages, and this double-stacked pawn is one of them, and having this file opened up with the king on the other side. I'm sorry, my animals are being so loud right now. Oh, my gosh. Every time I start a video. So anyway, yeah, the computer says that was a mistake, but I don't know. I like doing that. It works for me at 2100. So let's get to, like I said, if you hang with me to the end, I'll show you something that I don't know if a person would let me get away with it or not, but it did lead to a victory. And so now I have a messed up pawn structure and an isolated pawn structure. So definitely not the best way, but that's okay. It's still, this is a semi-open file, and I own it. Of course, here's an open file that my opponent owns. I don't like that. And I have basically no development at this point. I have 2 minor pieces, and they're still in their home position. So I need to get something going here. Okay. And so I kind of took some chance and wanted to start getting something developed. And so that was my thinking. And so I didn't think that was bad. The computer says that was some mistakes, but look at this. Isolated, double stacked, as opposed to my pawn structure. I think looks pretty good, and it does have 2 more pawn than I do, but the structure of them is terrible. And so anyway, so laying down some heat, getting this major piece in the game, and so let's just get to it because this is getting close to the ending that I wanted to show you. Now here, one of the things towards the end, People have a tendency to tuck their king away and hide their king. I can tell you, get your king out in the center and get him to work. He can't just hide back there somewhere and tucked away safe and sound. Got to get him working. And I realized this was a mistake because all I'm doing is allowing my opponent's king to come out towards the center, and that's not what I want. So it really comes down to getting that king in the center, as you will see here. A lot of back and forth, and yes, I realize I sacrificed that pawn, but I can't just sit there and keep doing that forever. The idea is I got to get this king out here, and so I did sacrifice a pawn for that position. And the key thing here in this endgame that I always go for, and you can see the Anna bot is doing it as well, is I like to have a pawn somewhere on both sides of the board, on the king side and the queen side, so that I can promote. This over here, my opponent can't do anything. I've got this covered too well unless they get the king over. If they get the king over, then guess what? I'm going to promote this pawn. And I'm in a similar situation, so I feel like I have a little bit of an advantage because of that right there. And so now I need to get my king above the pawn. When you're trying to promote a pawn and you have your king, you want your king above the pawn, okay, not below. And so we're both looking to do the same thing, as get our king up above our pawn. And, if this happens here, I can go here and then here and then here. So basically I can, like that. I can shut this down. She needs to get her king over there to promote one of these pawns. And so all I have to do is keep control of the center. And here, this is what I was talking about. I think at this point, I wonder if a human would offer a draw because we're both in similar positions. But I refuse to give up my position because I have to do this. And she knows that she has to do the same thing, and neither one of us are willing to back down. And it's a battle for the center. Like I said, I don't know if a human would offer a draw at this point. And finally, this is what I was looking for, just for some kind of a mistake to happen. And there it is. So now, take, and like I said, you want to stay above this pawn. Okay? And you'll see here, I want to cut off these squares. My king owns these 3 squares so that I'm free to promote. And you'll see Anna bot try to promote here in just a minute. This is what I meant, is I just had to be patient. I want, taking one of these would be a mistake. I have plenty of time, and then look at that. These pawns are cut off. The only way to promote is for her to get the king down here, and she cannot. And so that was the key. That little battle in the center it's going to come down to who's going to slip up first. And this is just sacrificial because I want to get rid of that right there. And now I know that the bot is probably going to look for a stalemate. So I have to make sure that there is a place for her to go back and forth so that it does not in a stalemate. And one piece by itself, even the queen can't do much. So I could promote this pawn, but I want to use my king and queen together. And there it is. So I hope that helps. The biggest takeaway is look for any kind of small advantage. When you're playing the 2100s, those are difficult for me. And I allow myself 2 hours on the clock to play, okay? And look for small advantages that lead to any kind of a upper hand towards the end game. That's how I beat the stronger bots, the 2100s. I've given up on looking for, quick wins or whatever. I'm not good enough to battle a 2100 bot and do a quick win of some kind. So anyway, so I've got that. And like I said, Anna's real game was really cool, and I thought, well, maybe I'll play that bot. I was looking to play a game of chess, and so yeah, I realized the real Anna would mop the floor with me, but playing the bot, put 2 hours on the clock, take your time, and it'll strengthen your game. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and as always, have a great day.